What is up, guys? Delboy here. So Adrien Broner and Jessie Vargas battled to a hard-fought draw. Really good fight. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Evenly matched. Stylistically, these two gelled really well and it made for an enjoyable fight. I actually picked Jessie Vargas going into this fight. Conceivably, you could have scored this fight to him, but I have to say I wasn't actually scoring it at the time, and from not scoring it, to me a draw looked about right, I'll be completely honest. So I've got no issue with the scorecards. Just a really enjoyable fight. Both guys came to fight and both guys left it all in the ring. In the first couple of rounds I felt Vargas was doing well with his jab, varying the jab from body to head. In the first 2 rounds you've got to score those rounds to Vargas. Actually, after those 2 rounds was when I stopped scoring because I really got into the fight after those 2 rounds. So the first 2 rounds, Vargas popping that jab, going body to head, the odd right hand behind it. You know, he won those rounds. But in round 3, Broner started to let his hands go a little bit. He was starting to fire that right hand a little bit more. In the mid-range, Broner was having a bit more success, you know, catching Vargas with the odd shot here and there. So round 3 was the round Broner started to wake up. And basically onwards, round 4 onwards, Broner had some really good rounds. It was essentially the activity of Jessie Vargas. Jessie Vargas was popping a jab, landing 1-2s, also doing a good job of landing to the body with hooks, whereas Broner was landing some big right hands, some nice right uppercuts, and he was trying to land the flashy combinations. Vargas probably outlanded Broner overall, but undoubtedly Broner landed the better shots for the most part. You know, there was combinations when Vargas was getting his head rocked back. Vargas's face was showing a lot of damage at points because of the accurate right hand of Adrien Broner. But these mid rounds were really competitive. You could score some of them either way. It's just really what you liked, whether you liked the volume of Vargas or the cleaner, harder shots from Broner. As the fight wore on, I felt Broner was looking good. I think round 10 Broner, what round was it? Round Broner finished so strongly. He landed multiple shots flush on Vargas, big combinations. It might have been like round 7 or round 8. He was landing combination after combination, and at that point it looked like Vargas was starting to wilt actually, and Broner was coming on strong. But credit to Jessie Vargas, he actually finished the fight quite strongly. The last 2 rounds, you probably score those to him. So Vargas started strongly in rounds 1 and 2 and finished strongly in rounds 11 and 12. And Broner had a lot of good rounds in between. To me, this fight, you could easily score it either way. I've got no issue, a point either way. I've got no issue with a draw. Both of these guys were extremely well matched. And I've got to say, to me, this was Broner's best performance in years. This was his best performance in quite some time. Jessie Vargas really fought how he always fights. You know, he's quite a steady Eddie. 1-2 jab, 1-2. Likes to go to the body. He likes to mix things up without being spectacular. Broner was a bit more offensive in this fight. He let his hands go a bit more. He was doing a good job of landing the straight right and the left uppercut in the mid-range, because Jessie Vargas, he's a taller guy, but he likes to crouch down and sort of, his head sometimes is ahead of his feet. So Broner was landing that right hand at the mid-range quite easily, and the uppercut as well. And yeah, man, it was a really good fight. Could have gone either way. As I said, best Broner performance in, when was the last performance from Broner as good as that? I mean, I don't really remember. Probably his best performance since the Alec Berdiev fight, to be honest with you. Really good performance, but still, I think Adrien Broner's going to go back and watch that fight, and he's going to think he threw it away, because early on he wasn't active enough, and the last couple of rounds again he coasted. And I mentioned this on Twitter when I was watching it, but I felt that if Broner made a body attack from early on, I think he could have got Vargas out of there, because there's times in the second half of the fight when Vargas really looked like he was starting to wilt. He was really feeling some of those Broner combinations, you know. He wasn't looking like he was on the verge of getting stopped, but I feel that if he had a body attack on top of that, there was a good chance he might have even finished Jessie Vargas. You know, Broner did not go to the body enough at all in this fight, and I think that could have cost him. Ultimately, I felt that Jessie Vargas fought his fight, and he did as well as he was always going to do. But I felt that Broner probably threw this fight away. He could have won this fight. He could have definitely won this fight. But regardless of that, despite all that, despite Broner coasting at the end and starting slowly, despite him not going to the body, I still feel this is Broner's best performance in quite some time, and I was impressed at times as well. And Jessie Vargas also fought a good fight. I felt he started well, finished well, took some good shots, proved again he's got a good chin, and had success of his own. He displayed a pretty good consistency throughout the fight. You know, as I said, displayed a lot of toughness, but he abandoned his jab in the mid-rounds. You know, again, that was a key punch for him early on, but he abandoned it. So both guys, you know, can go back and see areas where they can improve. Where do both guys go from here? I mean, we've got to see it again, surely. That's the fight that makes sense. I felt the fight was really, really good, so I'd like to see it again. If they do it next time, I would like to see it at the full welterweight limit, because this was a catchweight fight. Obviously, Broner was supposed to fight Omar Figueroa originally in a WBC super lightweight eliminator. That fight fell through, so they got Jessie Vargas as a replacement at a catchweight. It kind of met in the middle. In the rematch, I would like to see it at welterweight, to be honest with you, because Jessie Vargas is not a 140-pound fighter. So yeah, maybe if it happens again, I would like to see it at welterweight. If the fight doesn't happen, I wouldn't mind to see the original fight, Broner versus Figueroa. I think that's a good fight, stylistically. You know, Figueroa's going to come onto Broner and let his hands go, and it's going to give Broner opportunity to counter, but again, sometimes volume gives Broner a lot of issues. So to me, the Figueroa fight is also still there for Broner, but it's a tough fight. The rematch is there, but again, tough fight. So Broner has a couple of options. As for Jessie Vargas, again, you've got to look at the Broner rematch. That's probably the best route for him. I don't think he's going to beat any of the champions, to be quite honest, but he'll give most guys a tough fight. So yeah, Vargas and Broner, great performance from both guys, great fight, thoroughly enjoyed it, would definitely watch it again. What do you guys think of this fight? How did you score it? I didn't actually score it myself, but how did you guys score it? From what I was looking at online, a lot of people did have Vargas up, but I felt a draw was about right. When scoring Adrien Broner fights, I do have in the back of my mind that people just don't like the guy, so that's going to influence a lot of scorecards. I know some people can leave it out the door when they're scoring fights, but a lot of people when they're watching a fight, if they don't like, they will score against them. You know, even rounds where they probably should win, they'll score against them. So, looking at some of the scorecards online that were close, you know, did that play a part? I mean, I felt a draw was about right, but what do you guys think? Peace.